All right, everyone, welcome to Brandon at Random Reviews, covering one unsystematically chosen city at a time. Today's episode, Grand Ledge, Michigan, my hometown. The mid-Michigan town was settled by Henry Trench in the mid-19th century and had been noted for the several small islands on the river that divides the town, as well as the sandstone ledges or rock formations along the river for which the town is named. Toward the end of the 1800s, the town gained access to railroad traffic and the Seven Islands Resort was built. Then, after a couple different owners, a man named Julian Scott Mudge purchased the resort in 1880. Mudge recognized how important it was to try to prevent flooding of the resort by the Grand River, so he facilitated building a dam. Hey girl, are your parents beavers? 'Cause damn. The resort became quite popular, especially when a train trestle or high bridge was built to allow the railroad to reach the part of town south of the river. It is estimated that as many as 70,000 people per year were visiting the Seven Islands Resort in Grand Ledge, and the city became the second in Michigan to get electric lights. You might be wondering what the first city in Michigan was to get electric lights. Lansing or maybe Bay City, depending on who you ask, and that might be more disappointing than anything you would have ever guessed. By 1891, which for those of you keeping score at home is 11 years after Mudge bought the resort in 1880, he built a roller coaster on the islands. Wikipedia speculates that this was quote-unquote probably the first one built in Michigan, but I'm going to go ahead and present that information as definite fact to make it easier on us all. Plus, we're going to need that win for later. On the first island, there was an animal park featuring bears and deer. The second island served as the heart of the resort with the hotel, picnic area, and fountain. The third island featured a pavilion that served as a ballroom and theater for vaudeville acts and was connected to the second island by something called a causeway, or as they're known today, a sad bridge. The resort also featured a merry-go-round and a bandstand. Possibly the most noteworthy of Mudge's additions to the resort was called the Roundhouse, which was a 3-story pagoda tower built on the second island, with half of the structure on the island's soil and the other half intruding over the river. Nope, nothing questionable about that idea. Mudge went to great lengths to keep the purpose of the roundhouse a secret while it was being built, which led to public speculation. The design intended for the second story of the building to rotate more slowly, with the third story rotating quicker. There would be swings hanging from the 2 levels, and the rotation would allow riders to dangle out over the water. The 4th, 5th, and 6th islands were left wild, and the 7th was a boat access only picnic destination. During the late 1800s, Grand Ledge and its hotels and resorts had become immensely popular, and the dam was used to ensure the water would maintain the right level for steamboats. Ultimately, in 1893, a flood and chunks of ice damaged the roundhouse, which was nearing completion of its construction. Despite the roundhouse's exterior appearing barely affected, it was determined that there was such severe damage to the mechanisms inside the tower for rotating the upper levels that the repairs were never even initiated. The roundhouse remained intact on the exterior and was not immediately torn down due to its famous image being closely associated with the Grand Ledge Resort era. 1893 was also the year Grand Ledge officially became a city. The roundhouse has since been called Mudge's Folly, and the internet suggests that folly commonly means a costly and foolish undertaking, but they suggest a double meaning because it also means a picturesque structure built as an ornament but without real purpose. But I don't know, maybe don't build a dam and raise water levels for boats and then build a building that is halfway over the water and act like that couldn't possibly pose a problem. And it's been over 100 years since Julian Scott Mudge shit the bed with his half-baked, mechanized, mediocre swing set tower, and Grand Ledge has managed to limp on ever since. Today, this small city has a staggering 4 commercial auto parts chain stores within a mile of each other. There is an Italian restaurant downtown named Eugenio's that is very popular. Toad's LLC is fucking solid for a lighter meal, and Crossroads Barbecue, which was pretty good when it originally opened, then they suddenly closed. Then after a lot of dicking around and teasing with with catering services. They reopened, and ultimately, every kind of food I ever tried there after that was severely disappointing, especially for the outrageous price points on the menu. We lost our beloved Felpesh Food Center, but gained a Meijer. Fitzgerald Park west of town is delightful and allows access to the ledges and has a car show every year. Let's see, we have an annual island art fair, which is cool, and a color cruise that frankly kind of sucks total ass considering it's pretty much the same kind of thing. But yeah, that's my town. I hope you love it so much. Thanks for watching and have a good rest of your day. Bye now.